welcome to another episode of Farming Simulator 22 over on Court Farms. Right, it is January the 2nd, or the second day in January, so we are almost done with the, well, what I call the winter months. I don't really class February as a, I've always personally called like November, December, you know, as far as my winter months, and January, never really. So yeah, I think once we've done this, kind of what I call going into very early spring, late winter, early spring. But yeah, just as a reference. Now it is a little bit dark. I did set it for like 7 o'clock. I did drive up here. I thought to myself, well, if I'm driving in the dark, it doesn't really matter too much, you know. We won't lose as much daylight as we could. Now this field needs ploughing, obviously, as you can tell. And obviously we do have a cultivating contract to do as well. Now there isn't overly many jobs to do again this month. I'm hoping some more may pop up as the month goes on, but if we just have a little look over on the job list, there is nothing else really to do, you know. So we're just gonna kind of do these, get a little bit of, you know, get a little bit of money brought in just to help cover some bills, things like that. But we did buy the feed mixer. Now 99% of people were like, yeah, get the mixer because you're going to need it at some point. And yes, I did have the odd comment saying don't get it, you know, because you've got to have more money to buy the land and things like that. And I've learn in Giants Editor. Now to a lot of people who watch this, you might be like, well, that's really easy to do in Giants Editor. But like I say, I'm kind of like self-taught, use the odd YouTube video if I really am completely stuck with what I'm doing. But I have learned to add fields and farmlands into the game. Now, if you remember rightly, we had that little bit of land near the bridge that I was wanting to buy, and I was like, look, I can build on there no matter what anyway, because I've got the mod that lets me build. But it turns out I've now learned how to make that into a farmland slash field. So it is now, it's not technically a field, it's just a bit of like wasteland, but it's now a farmland, so we can now purchase it, which means we can put our own cow shed on it. It is going to be a lot cheaper than like the gate, you know, like the cow pasture, for example. So we can put our own cow shed in it. Now the price was a little bit difficult. It was probably the hardest thing I had to deal with because I wasn't really sure how to set the price. It just said like price scale, like not up to like 1, so not 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, blah 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 blah. Anyway, once I've done this field, I will kind of just show you what we have done price wise. I set it to about 0.4. I didn't have an idea what that kind of price was going to be, so, and to be honest, I'm kind of happy with it because there's a bit of work we'd have to do to the area anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, the price, I think the price is set to about 19,000 pounds. Now it's not a massive piece of land, as you know, but it's enough to possibly put down a cow barn. Well, obviously a cow barn means we can use any of our mods that we've got installed, and we can put a barn in, and then we could start looking at bringing in some milk cows. Now the reason why I want to do it this way, and I wanted to put a cow barn in somewhere, is none of the fields let you do milk. Well, I say milk, manure, slurry, things like that. So I like to try and use slurry. I like to try and use a bit of manure, things like that. So that's kind of what we're going to do. Also, while I was in Giants Editor, I did fix a couple of issues that I noticed on my farm. There was a bit of a gap in the fence to a fence post, so I did manage to fix that. And I also managed to clear out a little bit of rubbish from the farm. I don't know if you remember, in the corner near the sheep, we had it was like a rusting bus and a car and a little bit of rubble and things like that. Now I haven't cleared all the farm of all the rubbish, and it's just, I want to look at putting like maybe a shed in there, because I do find the farm we're on is a little bit I don't want to say crowded, because that's far from it. You know, the farm looks brilliant. It probably looks as realistic as it possibly can, but obviously there's not much room to put any more sheds in, and I find the sheds that we've got, well, our equipment we've already got doesn't really fit in the sheds. So it'd just be nice to just swap out some of the sheds, basically. There is a great demand at Folly downstairs. Let me just have a look on there, guys, because if that is, we have some here, and we do need a little bit of cash injection. So let's just have a quick look. We look for the blue. Saying that, we've only got hay, so if we look on here, and it's not hay, it's not a straw, and it's not a grass, so it's nothing we've got, so we can't do anything about that at all. No, I just wanted to look on that just in case it was something we had. I'm thinking of possibly bringing in a little bit of beehives as well, just to, I don't know, just to try and bring in a little bit of a side income, really. Could do a greenhouse. I have got a couple of new greenhouse mods. Some of them need manure though, which is another reason why I need a cow barn that does actual manure. Got no issues with like the open pastures. I'm going to put some beef cows into there. I'm thinking of buying 10 adult beef cows and 10... Actually, and what I might do is, when I can afford to get to that stage, I might buy 10 of each age to, you know, to stagger them, and then that way we can look at basically breeding, and then we sell the breeding ones. Basically, that's the idea anyway. That is the idea. Now I know it has been yet again a very plowy, cultivating winter. It's winter, guys, you know. Anyone who plays this game knows winter is it's this, basically. Now I know there are some people like, oh yeah, but if you don't play with seasonal growth, you can do what you want. I completely understand where you're coming from. I'm just not the biggest fan of playing without it on. I just feel like you shouldn't be planting stuff in January, you know what I mean? No, I don't know. We might look at taking it out. We might look at it. See, let me know what people think in the comments about leaving seasonal growth on or off, because I personally can take it or leave it. I do prefer to have it on, but you know what I mean? It's not like it's game breaking. It's just a personal choice, really. But I can take it or leave it. But I do prefer to just leave it on. But then again, saying that, that's just because I don't like to mess with any of my settings. It felt really weird at the end of the last episode, turning traffic off. It just feels wrong. And I tell you now, the map is so empty. It is so empty. Now, there's just me here now. Just, you know, driving away, and yeah, it's just so empty now. Really, really strange. Really weird. That is 85% complete. Yeah, we haven't really got overly much to do, and you know, Monday's episode's a bit of a nice ease one in. But yeah, we're going to be bringing Farm Sim 3 days this week. Like I say, I know some people like, oh yeah, shouldn't really be doing like your views and stuff, but like I say, I've got more than one channel. We are back trucking now. All the updates are out for trucking, so trucking is going to come Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday and Friday this week. I find Farm Sim videos don't perform very well on a Friday. So I'm looking at maybe Monday, Wednesday, Thursday for the part, and it might change, give or take. But yeah, all my videos are recorded the day before. But yeah, it's so as you can imagine, it's Sunday today. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. It's just crazy. I'm recording early. Everyone in my house, apart from me and the dog, is still in bed asleep. And we are just currently sat ploughing away in a little field. Get them lights turned out now. Lovely. Lovely, come on, it's got to be nearly done. Yeah, there might not be overly much to do in this episode, but once we've done these couple of jobs and we've done like our recording time, you know, we'll get over into February. I'm a little bit short at the moment for the wrapper at the moment. So we've got to earn ourselves just a little bit of money. It would be nice if we can get this work going this way. So I want to try and jump in the Leyland if I can. Set destination. To be fair with you, that'll do nicely. Slinky Ace is not ready to drive. The 6MT is not in transport. What do you mean it's not in transport mode? It can't. Oh, whatever. Right, so we're going to leave that there then, since it doesn't want to move. Give me 1 second. Ignore that error on that mod. It is fixed. I just need to update it. Right, so we need right now is the cultivator, and I can't remember where I put the cultivator. Aha, there's the cultivator. Right, we're going to drive the Renault today because why not? I just feel like the Leyland is a little bit slow. I did say the Leyland would become more of a yard tractor, but I am having a bit of an issue with the Leyland as a yard tractor, and that is more for the fact that I don't have a front loader for it. But I might look at editing the mod and getting a front loader option for it. Won't overly hard to do. Yeah, it'd just be nice if we could use a front loader on the Leyland. I actually think it's a really good idea, to be honest. Right, excuse me. Coming to coughing in everybody's ear. Oh, I'll tell you what, actually. Just while we're doing that, let me just cash this job in. It might come up as a seeding job. And it didn't. Oh, well, you suck. Right, so we need to turn up here and we need to turn right. Okie dokie. Turn is coming up somewhere around here. That's a little bit further up. And see, this is my thing with this map. I keep thinking, oh, it's just up the road. And then when you're actually driving up the road, it's like, wow, this is a long road. It's by the windmill. Yeah, I was going to show you that field that I have added in. So I'll do that before we start. Field 91. I nearly said 19. Let me just, I know there's no traffic coming, but it's just like one of them things, you know, just play it like, oh, let me just get off the main road. So what we did over here is come down to here. Now you can see this bit of land here isn't a field, but it is buyable. So it's basically just short of £19,000. There's a little bit of rubbish on there that I forgot to remove. I will be honest. There's some logs in the middle of it that I do actually need to move in the Giant Editor, which I completely and utterly forgot to do. What it was is I forgot to do it because I was more just like, yes, you know, excited that I'd actually managed to figure out how to create farmlands. Now I know, like I said to you before, you know, some people are like, oh, well, that's really easy. And you know something, for some people it really, really is. And for some people it really, really isn't. It's just the way of the world. But it was something that I did struggle with first couple of times. It was like, okay, did this, and it didn't work. And then obviously did it a third time, it was like, yes, and it worked. And it was like, yes, brilliant. Right, so field 91 is where we're going today. I'm going to get this started. This is a relatively big field. And this is actually a smaller plough than a smaller cultivator than what our plough is. So we would have actually been better ploughing this. That's a shame. I've got no issue with it. It's just would have been nice to have used the bigger equipment. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, hopefully within the next month or two, we should be getting the wrapper anyway. We're already back up to 20,000. We need 27,000 for the wrapper. Obviously, the wrapper is going to help us with completing some silage. We're going to need it for our TMR mixer, things like that. Not necessarily for our TMR mixer because we do have a silage bunker, but you get the idea. It's going to help us earn some massive income. Now, I know it would have been a good idea to have got the wrapper instead of the mixer, but I still feel with like a 53% or 51 to 53% discount, it was something like that. That was a fantastic deal. That was an absolutely fantastic price. And I don't think we were going to get something of that price again. I really don't. So I'm glad I bought that. And we can't do any silage work till at least March, April time anyway. So that does give us a couple of months to earn 10 grand. And earning 10 grand is not the end of the world. Worst case scenario, we do a hay contract. Get the hay, sell the excess hay, and then buy the wrapper that way. So, and I know that's kind of what we did previously, but I didn't expect the options to come up that did. Now there are, and I'm going to say now in the discount, I want to just keep showing you all this stuff. If we look in the discount store, guys, there is some fantastic deals in the shop. 10,900 for a little trailer. How cool is that? We can even increase the capacity, I believe. No, we can't. It's loading left, loading right. So that's the smaller version. We've got the Chieftain trailer, which is 10,500. Can up it to 12,000. Well, with no door extension, but you know what I mean. We can up that. It's less than £10,000. That's not a bad transit. We've got the Brogan trailer, 13,000, 22,700 litres. So, you know what I mean? £13,000. Now, remember, if we want to be doing harvesting this year, we need to have a harvester again, which is going to be at least £30,000. Now, I want to be harvesting because I want to bring chickens in, but in order to do that, we need a harvester again. We're talking at least £30,000. Then we need a header, then we need a trailer, and then that's still not going to be the quickest way to do things. So, as daft as it sounds, we've got to kind of play this right. So if we can get enough money to get the silage wrapper, we can get silage. We can always do a silage contract, maybe two, you know, get two fields next to each other, get some money, get a harvester. Now, again, it's okay saying, well, we need to get some land, we need to get some fields. You're right, I've not once said that we don't need some fields. We do. We need to expand our personal farm, but the chickens will help us do that. But I can only keep the excess grain. So I'm in like this like massive catch-22 because right now I want to spend some money and I want to buy a trailer. There are some fantastic options in trailers in there. 22,000 litre capacity trailer. The Renault can run the trailer around. It's got the most power. But then that means we can't get the wrapper. So, you know what I mean? But I know everyone's like, yeah, come on, get the wrapper. And that was the plan before the feed mixer came. Don't mind me, I am having to turn my fan on. It is absolutely sweltering in my room today. It's a very humid day today where I am, up on the coast. It's very humid. You go outside and it's not really warm. My house is like a sauna. Do you know something? Me and the wife were talking about this the other day actually. Like, my house is like south facing, so in summer it's really hot, but then in winter it's really cold, and it's like, it really does suck because it's like, in winter, it's like all the heat just escapes out of the house, but then in summer it just lets off, you know, it never like lets the heat out, so you can never really win. But today it's a really warm, humid morning, and yeah, it's just awful. everything just feels so damp in the air, and yeah. That is looking really, really well. So that is almost our 2 headlands done. No, that is our 2 headlands done. So yeah, this is a third, isn't it? Third should give us plenty of room to turn around top and bottom. So we'll finish this headland and then we'll start doing our rows up and down. Looking lovely. Looking really, really nice. But yeah, this is going to earn us just a little bit more money. So we need maybe 1, possibly 2 jobs just to try and get the wrapper out of the state of the wrapper. Yeah, I just realised I've got an error on my Leyland mod, but I need to fix that. I know exactly what it is as well. It's a really, really simple fix. I just completely forgot it was even there. I've been so busy lately helping the guy who released all the Ford mods. Sorry, sneezing. Yeah, all the old Ford mods that were on King's Mod, that were basically originally broke. I've been basically working with him behind the scenes over like the last week, and we've managed to get all of them to be error and log free, and it's just reminded me that I needed to do the Leyland today after seeing that error in the console. But I can soon quickly get that one done. Basically, I know it's going to sound daft. Oh, it's not going to show me now. If I just ignore me scrolling. Yeah, it's the Leyland, and it's a mirror issue. If anyone ever sees the smoke particles, it is actually a mirror and an exhaust issue in the XML file. I just wanted to point out if anyone actually didn't know that. What you need to do is you need to basically redo all the exhaust particles, and then you need to redo the mirrors. That's exactly what it is. Most mods that are converted have that issue. Some people know how to fix it, some people don't. It is quite an annoying one to fix if you don't know how. Not much information on that on the internet. But yeah, basically you need to fix the mirrors, reflections. You need to fix the mirrors in the XML, and then you need to re-add the. You basically just need to redo the exhaust particles. That's pretty much it. Right, so that is what are we doing now? Contract-wise, we need to try and get a 3rd contract. If not, we'll just work till like dinner time, and then we'll call it quits, and then we'll be in February in the next episode. No matter what happens now, I'm gonna just keep moving along unless I've got a job to finish. Like if we did say a baling contract and we couldn't quite finish it in one day, we'd have 2 episodes in like, oh, you know, I say one day in 1 episode. It takes 2 episodes. Obviously, we'll stay in that month that time. But yeah, at the end of this episode, we will be moving over into February just to keep the series moving along. Doesn't matter if we complete 10 years, 20 years in the game. It's not the end of the world. We're not in a rush as far as I'm concerned. There's not many more good maps left to play. I have noticed there's been some new maps come out over the last couple of days, but I'm not going to download 20 mods to play on a map. It's that simple. That's one thing I do like about the Oxygen David maps, is he creates models and includes them in his maps. He doesn't just get permission from other people to use theirs, and then I've got to download a load of mods I don't want. Yeah, I was looking at one the other day, and to be honest with you, I have thought about just removing the necessity for them mods in the XML, and then just creating my own farmyards, if that makes sense, on said maps. That way we can still play the maps, and yeah. Like, for example, one came out the other day and you need to use the Dutch sheds. The map looks fantastic. I just don't need to be downloading. I think it was 12 mods, was it? You might be wrong with that, other the information, but I know there was a massive pile of mods you needed to download to play one map. I am not interested in those kind of maps. It could be the best map ever, but I'm not interested in downloading a load of mods. If I wanted to use that mod, I'd already have it, if that makes sense. It's just, yeah, it's just a personal preference, really. But yeah, that's the one thing I do like about Oxygen David's maps, is the fact that you just don't need anything to play them. You know what I mean? I don't mind, like, maybe downloading the odd, say, UK farmhouse, things like that. But there's a good chance I've already got that anyway. If it's basically UK related, I am a good chance I've already got it. But overall, yeah, if you've got to download several maps, several other mods to play on a map, I'm just not interested. Not trying to hit on any hate here on like the map makers. It's their choice, it's their map. But yeah, just personally, I've just got no interest. Just a personal preference, really. And I know fine well there are a few people out there like me. You know, I watch some videos on YouTube when I've had like a bit of spare time and things like that, and there are people out there exactly like me. They'll do like a mod, you know, they'll do like a mod reviews and things like that, and you know, like map tours and stuff, and first thing they'll say is you need this amount of map mods to play it, and they're like, and it's just, people just don't really like, you know, a lot of people do, a lot of people don't. At first I thought it was just me. I just thought, well, am I maybe being a bit picky? But no, just personally, just me. I just thought it was me to begin with. But my opinion. And I know I'm probably missing out on some really good maps, but if I've had this game since release date, if I don't have the mod to use that map, there's a reason why, and it's because it has no interest, you know what I mean? I do like my British style farming. I mean, plenty of other discos. That's why I wanted to play on Sandy Bay for a little bit. You know what I mean? We didn't really get far on that series, but that's just because Court Farms came out. Still got that series to continue. So yeah, we could maybe jump back on to Sandy Bay, I suppose, if we come to the end of Court Farm. I think I'm seven episodes in on Sandy Bay. I know I didn't do much, but I did state when we first started that I would be stopping when Court Farms come out, and that is exactly what we did. I've gone back to doing circles again, and around this, rather than rows, you know, up and down. But yeah, do you know what? I just prefer to go up and down. I do there. No, I do prefer to go round rather than up and down. Sorry guys, I'm lost for words. I've got to be honest, my brain's not quite functioning today because I was kept up till about 1:30 this morning. With my neighbour over the road deciding to have a drug overdose, and the ambulances, yes, there was plural, deciding to leave the blue lights flashing all night, the entire time they were there. So my bedroom was just lit up like a freaking Christmas tree, flashing lights all night long. It was just absolutely insane. So yeah, sorry, people who have drug overdoses, they get no sympathy from me. As just, again, a personal preference. It's just get no sympathy from me. Even more so when I'm kept awake all night because you decided to do drugs. Right, let's I best get away from that conversation before I get so much hate. But I personally can't stand druggies. Bad enough living next door to one. And obviously, turned out I've got one over the road as well. But yeah, several ambulances last night. Oh, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Not bad for a single mother, eh? To be overdosing. Yeah, right. Change subject before I properly get some hate for some comments I have. Just, yeah, my brain is just not functioning correctly today. My brain doesn't function correctly anyway without proper lack of sleeping. Yeah, it's just even worse last night. Because the thing is, once the ambulances went away and like close your eyes, my eyes, all I could see when I closed my eyes was still the flashing lights. You see, it took forever to get to sleep last night. It was not good at all. It was a very long night. Very long night. So we have nearly completed this field. That is pretty much. So by the time we got this done, this will be this episode done, and that should be January out of the way. You see, no time lapses. Bit of a slower paced episode. I do love a slower paced episode. We just have a bit of a chat and kind of just a bit of banter, and yeah, we just get a bit of field work done. Time lapses have the place. Doesn't necessarily have to be in every single episode. I am very happy with what we've got done in this episode. A little bit of money in the bank. Maybe should have upped the time to 10 actually, with it being two episodes, just with 2 jobs. God, if my brain's not functioning now, I've got no chance I can play Apex today. I won't end up shooting at people when I see them. This field has to be nearly done. I know some people don't like it because they don't actually complete the entire field, but as long as the contract's done, we'll be completing fields when we open our own land. And I know the minute we get the wrapper, I know we're going to be talking some huge income soon. But we also need a front loader for that. We need a front loader to be moving the bales onto the wrapper. Now we do have the Ford. I do believe the Ford has the brackets for the front loader already on. It's not the tractor I want to. Yeah, it's not the tractor I want to use for the farmyard though. But in the fields, it would do the job rather well. Still haven't seen that come up saying completed job yet. It is annoying that I've managed to miss a couple of little bits. There we go, field 91 is done, so we'll just finish this row. But we have got that field done. Let's get that folded up. Let's get this cashed out, and we've got another 2,500. Wow, look at them eggs. Can you imagine if we had that amount of eggs? That'd be crazy. But there you go. As you can see, that is those jobs done. So what I'm going to do off recording now is I'm basically just going to move, well, I'm going to move these tractors back to the farm. I might set the Renault going on its own, and then I'll just drive the Ford back, because apparently the plough doesn't like it. The plough doesn't like being driven back for some reason. So if we just move these back, I'll tell you what I do want to do actually. Let me just show you what I've managed to do over on the farm space wise. Now if you remember rightly, there was like a little bit of rubbish here in the farmyard. So basically I've just kind of removed this little bit of rubbish so we can put like a shed in over here. And then just down here where that bit of farmland is we want to buy, which we do technically have the money for it, but we don't have any money to do anything with the land, so I don't see the point at the moment. So this is what we own at the moment. It basically does go into the little ditch a little bit, like to the edge. You know, I wasn't exactly precise as I would have liked, but you know, I suppose we could plough it out and turn it into some really nice grass. I'm leaving the track in though, but we could maybe plough this out, get some grass in, make some extra bales just until we can do something with it. I do need to move these logs. These are the logs I was talking about that I need to move. I might not even delete them. I might just literally move them to the edge, and then probably at some point when I can afford it, I'm probably going to put a bit of a fence in along here when we buy it. Yeah, we can buy this bit of land now. This for me is a really good thing. Why? See, we've got no jobs to do. Oh, that. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Really strange. Yeah, we might end up, if we buy this, we could always plough it out. Get some grass seed in. We could always turn it into a mini field, I suppose, until we're done. I don't know. Let me know what you think we should do. Do you think we should maybe turn it into, you know, if we were to buy it after the wrapper, do we turn it into a bit of grass just to earn a little bit of money? If we turn it into a field, you've got to remember we've got to find a way to harvest it. Although there are some really cheap potato harvesters. And that field there wouldn't be a bad size to do potatoes, I suppose. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm actually really tempted. But hopefully, guys, you have enjoyed this episode. Like I say, it's a different kind of episode when I do it where there's no time lapses. We've got a couple of jobs done. And as I say, in the next episode, we will definitely be in the next month. So as I say, thank you so much for watching the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.